So to see, the final chapter for a case that you worked on, tell us a little bit about your thoughts right now.
Well, it is the final chapter of the monster David Zink. It is not the final chapter of Amanda Morton. Her memory lives on with us, and some of the things that she taught us, even though she wasn't alive at the time, are things that we'll never forget. On behalf of the Greene County Sheriff's Office, myself and Major Cocoran, who both worked on this case through trial and waiting on this finality tonight, it's been a tough road, but we're glad that it is final for David Zink.
Why do you come witness this tonight?
We wanted to be there for the family, and we wanted to be there for them to close the chapter on David Zink, and that's what happened. We wanted to be there to support them. And it's also a final chapter for us in this case. A lot of cases you do not get such a final chapter as this, and tonight we witnessed that and witnessed justice being done.
Did you talk to the family, and if so, how was their emotions?
We briefly talked to them. We think about them quite often, and we do run into them at various places. They're a great family in a very tough situation that they went through, and it's unspeakable, it's unimaginable. As parents, we both don't understand how they feel or how they've made it through this time, but we want them to be there to support them.
What did you learn about Amanda Morton through investigating this case, from the family? What have you learned about her over the years?
Just exactly what was said prior, is that she was a vibrant young lady with a great future, and this monster took that away. And a lot of lessons that we learned in law enforcement of being more proactive. The Amanda Morton case was really a big case that helped get the Amber Alert really established in Missouri through Senate hearings that I testified in, talking about how we need more information out there, the signs on the highways, those things that we have now that we didn't have when this crime took place. And so there's so many positive things that have come from the situation, and that's more of an awareness, and law enforcement be involved from the very beginning and complete a good examination of the scene so you can gather the evidence and figure out what exactly happened.
And by the same token, you investigated this case. You spoke to this man that we saw executed tonight. What can you tell us about him?
He was an evil man. Very evil from the time that I read Miranda to him, to the first part of the interview. And looking back on his previous cases, as many of you have, it speaks to what this monster was wanting to do, and that's relive what he did in the past. Unfortunately, with Amanda, he carried out his complete process, and he was just a horrible monster.
What do you make of him getting released early from Texas? As you know, it was shortly after his early release that this happened to Amanda. I mean, I know you're not, in the prison system, probation, parole, but what do you think about that as a law officer?
Well, it's disappointing. Anytime that you see repeat offenders, it's actually when we see someone come out and do the right thing is the ones that we're pleased to see. But more often than not, we see things like this, and we hope that these things don't take a tragic turn like this case did. But it's really up to that person to make a decision, and David Zink made that decision.
Could I ask you, from when you interrogated him, anything stands out in your mind about him? When you say he's an evil man, can you give us an example of that? Something he said, just your interaction with him, obviously his crime, but beyond that.
I think you can see it play out in the trial, is that he was very matter of fact, not really concerned about emotion. I've never seen any regret or remorse, or you look at the crime and you look at his previous ones, and he was doing the same thing, and because he wanted to do it, not because he was in a different situation or something else. It was very planned out, very methodical, and
sentiment. He was very alarming, how matter of fact he was, and how emotionless and casual he was throughout our contact, and up to the point of recovering Amanda's body. It was chilling, really.
Has this been a case that has stuck with both of you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How so?
It's, something you never forget. And one of the things as law enforcement is we wanted to find her. And we wanted to find her alive. And you have that little bit of hope that you can do that. But, we didn't know that until we actually found her. So that was probably the toughest thing of that emotion of hoping that you get there in time. And but come to find out after we processed all the evidence, the autopsy was conducted, she died much earlier. But you don't know that investigating it.
Anything else?
Did this happen soon enough?
No, this should have happened 14 years ago. And that's for sure. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, guys.